post from David is the 2026 Performance Academy 2026 kickoff call. Go on there, comment that you're here, and then we're ready to go.
Yep. That'd be awesome. The reason why we do that is because, yeah, we just want to know who's here live and then who's going to work with the recording. There's we can in Skool we have a lot more possibilities these days to help you with accountability. Because again, okay, before we kick this off, right? Had a call today, and the tools that we give you to swim faster in training and in competition, they are not difficult. They're not necessarily hard rocket science or anything. Everybody here will understand them, and they're simple to use. So knowing the tools is not the challenge for us as your coaches, as your guides. The challenge is how can we help you to actually use and apply the tools on a daily basis. Does that make sense? And we're going to work a lot in 2026. We're going to work a lot with Skool because in camp it really, really worked, right? And we're going to use Skool a lot, and we'll see. We also have AI that can summarize all the comments and stuff and can tell us, so we don't have to like do everything manually, but we know who was there and who wasn't and who did that and who didn't, right? So that's why we're using Skool, because it's not like a control thing. It's just our number one challenge is to give you good tools, which is easy. And the more difficult part is how can we help you to actually use them on a daily basis, because that's how you level up. Not by knowing stuff, by using stuff. Does that make sense for everybody? Okay. All right, so I mean, you all know Yul and myself. I don't think we need to do any like introductions and stuff. So let me just show what the agenda is for today, because we're gonna do goal setting part 1. This is being streamed live. Hey, what?
We can introduce Mia later if you want. She's here.
Let's do it now then. You introduce Mia. Hold on, let me like stop. Cool. Yeah, that's if she's here. You introduce Mia, and Mia can say hi to everybody.
I just saw her earlier. Let me check. Mia.
I saw her name too. Mia, are you here?
But she can't unmute, right?
Oh yeah. I'll give her. I'll make her a co-host, then she can. Introduce her anyway, how you got to know her and stuff, right?
Okay, so I was in Macedonia a couple of months ago, and well, some of you guys might notice we were looking for kind of expansion on our coaching staff for our camps, mostly looking for a female coach as well, because especially in summer camp 2, we're gonna be 4 men coaching. So Peter Mankoc, Milorad Čavić, David, and myself. And anyway, so I met Mia, right? Ex-swimmer. She did a 208 in the 200 backstroke. Great swimmer, D2 in the US. Yeah, she's gonna be in addition to our camp for summer, actually for every camp from now on. And yeah, Mia, you want to say hello?
Mia, you should be able to unmute.
Yeah, I can. Hi, guys.
Hello. You got a camera? Oh, don't tell me it's a bad hair day. Well, we didn't warn you that you're gonna be introduced, right?
Wait, give me a second.
Gotta be ready for everything.
Yeah.
I got a bad hair day too.
Yeah. Well, we're boys. Nobody cares.
Yeah, exactly. Louise is laughing.
Yeah. Well, Mia, if you need a minute, we can come back to you in the end. That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. All right.
It doesn't let me put my video on.
All right.
Sure.
All right.
Exclusive.
Yeah.
Anyways, Mia, cool girl. You want to say something about yourself?
I mean, I'm just excited to work with you guys and meet every swimmer and improve, get some PBs. About all. I don't know what else to say.
She's shy. Okay.
Bad moment. I wasn't prepared.
Totally cool. But I mean, 2026, I feel like, yeah, it's going to be, for everybody who's in the Swimpros kind of movement, it's going to be a breakout year because, yeah, let me like start the thing here now then. I'll show you what we got planned, what we're going to rock through today, okay? Okay, agenda, quick welcome. I guess we're doing that right now. What I'm asking you to do is to give this call and any of the Sunday calls, really, give it 100% focus. So turn on your cameras, don't multitask, don't be on TikTok or Snapchat or texting or whatever. You're going to use your phone for school, but like just be here because that's how you're going to get most out of it, right? It's, you know, you're doing so much for swimming already. On camp, we asked the question, how many hours do you actually spend on swimming in a week? And it was 20, 25, 30, 35 hours. And if you do this hour right every week, it will multiply everything that you're already doing. So just be here, be present with us. Okay. Then we're going to go through important announcements and upgrades as far as the academy goes. And then we're going to go into goal setting. Okay. I'll turn off the live streaming after we cover that, and we'll go into goal setting. And then we'll give you the action steps for this week. And then I'll quickly give you an outlook for what we got planned for the rest of January. And then also beginning of February, because it's quite exciting. Okay. So, important announcements. The first thing, how Skool actually works. So I'm going to share my screen on my phone because most of you, I guess like including myself and you, most of the time when we're using Skool, we're actually on the phone. So it looks a bit different on desktop. So I'll do the screen share here. Oh yeah, and please, if you haven't yet, what you was saying in the beginning, in the pinned Skool post, just say that you're here. Like in this one, in the comments, just say like, I'm here or whatever, right? So we know that you made it to the live journey, okay? All right, and what I want to walk you through is just when you go, start here. Okay, how Skool works. Okay, basically, there's like a gamification kind of thing. You saw these, there's a leaderboard and stuff, and we want to like reward people who are active on the Skool community. So you see this, there's like different ranks. So it goes drifter, believer, courageous, focused, committed. And every time somebody likes one of your comments or a post or whatever, you like get points, right? So it's really easy to get points, and it's really easy to give other people points because if you like something, for example, those people will start to level up, okay, which is pretty cool. And we continue to think about how we can like reward you for being active, because one of the main things that we see, people who are active on Skool, they do better in swimming. Okay, it's just as simple as that. Because a lot of the times, if you don't know how to use social media correctly, it will actually destroy a lot of the confidence, because you see everybody's super awesome life and you start to think, oh, mine kind of sucks and I'm not there, I'm not good enough and all that, and it's not really a confidence builder. Whereas in Skool, when you share what works for you, what you've learned, you encourage others, celebrate other people's wins, we celebrate your wins, that builds confidence. Okay, and so the more active you are, the better. Okay, and that's always been our dream, is to create a social media platform that may not be as like addictive with the dopamine and stuff like scrolling through TikTok and Instagram, but it will ultimately be fun enough and it will make you a better swimmer and a better human being. Okay, so that's how Skool works. Now, if you need to send a DM, okay, it's here on the top right. That's where you send DMs. Okay, so if you see somebody's DM'd you, or maybe Yul or myself, try to get back to us, right? And if you want to write a DM, you can just go on anybody's profile and DM that person. Okay, it's pretty intuitive. Then the Skool app, okay, and you have all of that in the classroom where it says free stuff. Get the Skool app. So if you don't have the Skool app yet, download it real quick. Go into the in the classroom, and then where it says like start here, and then you go to number 3, download the Skool app. And if you're on Apple, this is the link, and then if you're on Google, there's a link as well. And download the Skool app right now if you don't have it, because it's really good. And if you already have it, here's my advice. I can't force you to do it, but put it next to WhatsApp. Put it next to the app on your home screen where you will see it. It's not a guarantee you're actually going to use it. Like, for Levin, for example, right? Swam really well and stuff, and we never heard anything, unfortunately, right? Which makes me a bit sad. And Levin, I'm just like calling you out because you swam really well and all that. And we want to know, right? And also we want to know when it doesn't go well. And so just put the Skool app next to an app that you're using on a daily basis, and you'll be more likely to actually, and it also, like when we have you post the gains, when we tell you how to win the free suit and all that, right? Free race suit, you're going to have to be there, like on there for like a minute or two every day anyway. So then that helps you to be consistent with it. Right? And you want to like, remember what we said about consistency? We covered it in the Swimpros news as well. So why consistency? And tell the story how you lost the fire badge.
Damn. You sure I should tell the whole story? No.
No, like just, but it's just like the consistency, right? What we covered about consistency, why?
Yeah, so consistency, there's like two things that we're gonna be focusing on for sure. One is, if you do something consistently, it just becomes a routine, and then it's gonna be harder and harder for you not to do it, right? It's the same with going to the gym or whatever, and so same thing here. I mean, the fire badge, I really wanted to have it, and then Sunday, it was the last day at camp. We were traveling, whatever. Yeah, I just lost it. But the thing that I would pinpoint here about consistency is really what stuck to me is recently I saw this post on YouTube from Bob Bowman, right? Everybody knows Bob Bowman, coach of probably the best swim coach ever, and he was talking about Marchand and Phelps and his other swimmers, and he's like, yeah, so most of these guys never have a a, a 10 out of 10 workout, right? So they never have a perfect workout. But what they also never have is like a shit workout, like a 5 or a 6. They're consistently at a 7 or 8, and that every day. And that to me is obviously, these are some of the best swimmers ever. And this is just testament to being able to do something consistently. And it's better to do something consistently good than sometimes perfect, followed by sometimes crappy, right? There you go.
Yep. Thank you. And at the end of the day, right, it's exactly what you said. It's like you want the things that empower you. You want to get to a place where the things that are good for you and your development, it's easier to do them than not to do them.
Yeah.
Because for you guys, it's easier to go swim than not swim because you go on a guilt trip when you skip a workout. It's easier for you to go and swim, even though it's hard, than not swimming. Why? Because it's a habit. Change your habits, change your life. This is true for kids, for teenagers, young adults, old people like us, right?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And I promise you guys, I'm going to reread books, the best books that I've read about habits. And I'm going to, because that's the number one thing. It's not the tools that we give you, because those are easy. They're simple. Once you know them, you understand them. But the challenge is, how do you actually follow through and make them a habitual thing so that you become that person? That is it. Change your habits, change your life. And I'm going to, read those books again, and I'm going to come back to you, and we're going to use it. We're going to share it with you and stuff. And there's so much research on it because it's, if you want to change your life, you got to change your habits. Right? And that is what we're gonna double down on this year, 100%, right? And we're gonna try to make it as fun as we can. All right. Oh no, I don't want to record. I want to screen share. Okay. All right, back to the Skool thing. So that's the app, right? The next thing, what you can show to your parents is number 4. Is like a pre-race checklist on what to say, what not to say before a meet. Look, and maybe you could just ask your parents, like that would be my favorite step, to just not say anything, to try that out and see what happens, right? But you can give them, that's a resource for the parents, not necessarily for you. And then if you haven't yet, and if you're really new and you haven't introduced yourself, number 5 you see is introduce yourself. There's a post here where you just let us know, there's like, where you're from, how many times you train and what your PB is, so everybody kind of knows who you are, okay? That'd be pretty cool. Cool. All right, that's that. Now, let me share the other screen here. All right, next point. Some milestones that we hit. Okay, so we want to celebrate wins. Can you see that? Swimpros milestones? Yeah, you can see it. Okay, so we hit 500 members.
Yeah.
It's actually already today 530. So you see this baby is growing, which is pretty cool. I don't know if everybody in here is as cool as you guys who are here. We'll find out, right? I don't know all of them like personally and stuff. But it's growing, so let's be nice with them to them. And then the other thing I wanted to show you, what was it? The swim camp. Yeah, the vote. So we had people vote. Where is it? On the swim camp. Curious. Which made you, Rebecca, and myself so happy. Like, if you would recommend the camp, for those of you who've been on a camp, and like literally 80 people said yes, and some of them have already done this. So that means, it means the world to us. Right? And I hope that if you haven't been on a camp yet, that you will soon, right? If you're super ambitious, come to the second one with Chavic and Monkoch. Cool. Then we asked you guys if a accountability group on WhatsApp, if that would be an overkill or if that would help you guys. And we've seen it on camp. We always have one on camp and it really works. Everybody said yes, I think, if I remember right. And so we're going to do that. Again, you guys can't post in that. It is just you and myself, right? So see it as like some daily motivation, daily tips, daily reminders, but we're just going to probably have one a day. Okay. And
Max.
we'll be very consistent with it. And so I'll drop the link to join directly in the chat here. I'll only put it in the Zoom chat because I don't want anybody else who's not in the Performance Academy to join, if that makes sense. Okay, so if you go in this Zoom chat now and you just click that link, what should happen is it should open up your WhatsApp and it will automatically
drive you.
Oh yeah, look, that works. You guys are so tech savvy. That's great. So just join that group. Okay. Now I would say this is for swimmers mostly, but hey, if you're a parent, you want to be in it, be my guest, right? The more we do it like this. If somebody gets the paid membership for the Performance Academy, the whole family gets access. Okay? Why? Because the more the parents know, not like to be a control freak or anything like that, but the more they know about what it is that we're doing, the better they can support you and do like the best things for you at home. And then we will have some like parent specific trainings. I'm talking to people who are exclusively for the last 10, 20, 30 years been working with parents. And I'm working on getting those in for like parents only training. Again, just to kind of level up. And like Yul and I, we spoke about that. I think it was actually in private, not on the Swimpros news. But what we said is that at least in Switzerland and in Europe, what we see a lot of the times is that coaches don't want to have to deal with parents at all. Right? And when it comes to this actual training, we tend to agree with that, right? Parents don't be on pool deck, don't distract the kids and all that. So that's our opinion. But if you're living at home, your parents are still your biggest influence. And so we want to include them in the dream team, right? We do not want to dismiss the parents. It's like, oh, you don't know and stuff. We want to include them because believe me, they want you to be happier more than anybody else. And so if we're just giving them the right tools as well and some insights about what's going on and stuff, they can support you the best way possible, right? So while they shouldn't be like coaching and stuff because that's the coach's job, so to say, there's a huge role that they play outside of the pool. And so we all want to like, okay, this is the swimmer. You tell us this is where I want to go in the next couple of months. And then we adults, we align around you and we help you and support you in making that possible, right? We all want to pull on the same string in the same direction. Does that make sense? Okay. So That's that. Cool. All right, next one. Next one is the fire badge. Oh, I see it. So, guys, how to win a brand new race suit of your choice. Okay, this is the thing we said. We're gonna kind of gamify this a little bit. The exact instructions, it will start next week. Okay, we'll start next week, and then if you're not live, you have another day or two until you actually watch the thing, and then it starts. And we're gonna run it for like 6 to 8 weeks. Yul and I are still deciding, but to make our job a bit easier, so because I don't want to go every day who did it and then tick off like 100 people, there's this fire badge. Now, what does that fire badge look? I'll show you what it looks like. If you go on my profile, because you lost it, so you'll see there's this fire badge. How you get a fire badge is when you do 10 activities a day on Skool, okay, and you do that for 30 days straight, then you get the fire badge. The star badge, by the way, this is only I can get it because I run the group. That means we're in the top 1% of all Skool communities, and there's a lot. Right, so in sports we're ranked at like number 18 out of a lot. Okay, and so but the fire badge, this is what we're going for. So at the end of the challenge, I'm only going to look at the people who have the fire badge, if that makes sense. Now, 10 activities, what is it? You could literally, one of the things is going to be to write down the 3 gains, and if you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. I'll explain it, and that you did the visualization, right? But then when you go, let's just say here, and you just give Alex, Brody, Gabriel, right? They're going to level up. Julia, you just give them a like. Every like that you give is 1 activity. And it's so fast, right? And then, like, if you're in a rush, you just do the 10 activities. But then I read every comment. And sometimes, like, okay, here it's super easy to just like. And if it's a longer comment, I still read it and like it and respond and stuff. If you respond to a comment, that is a activity, right? So just engage. It's going to be super, super easy to get that fire badge. Does that make sense? Okay, and Yul and I are just gonna look at the end of the challenge, who has the fire badge, and then out of those people, we're gonna do like a lottery who's gonna get the free suit, and you can choose what brand, which model, whatever. We'll just ship it to your home. Okay, and hopefully that'll be like more motivation to kind of like follow through with visualization and like the most important things that we're asking you to do. All right, 10-minute one-on-ones. Yul. I'll say what I'm going to do moving forward. Just so the 10-minute one-on-ones are in the VIP premium section. Okay. They're going to be here. So season 2025, I'm going to take this out so you don't get confused. Okay. So you will only see the season 2026 kickoff call. If you ever feel like you want to watch more videos, send me a message on Skool and tell me what topic, and I can give you videos, okay? Because we have plenty from the past on YouTube and stuff, and I kind of know where they are, but I don't want you to be overwhelmed. So every training is going to go in here with the recording, okay? We're just going to go week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And then you have one-on-one, 10-minute one-on-ones, okay? And then you can book those here. Now, I'll let you start. Explain to them, like, how do you want it handled, please?
Right, so these 10-minute one-to-ones, right? They're limited. Obviously, if everybody who is here would book a 10-minute call every week, then, there wouldn't be space for anybody else. But I think this has worked well in the past or last year when we actually started this. For me, the one-to-one coaching call is the 10-minute one is really there for when you have something urgent going on. Urgent. There's something specific you want to talk about. It has to be urgent, specific, and maybe even in like a critical moment of your season, right? Like if it can wait until Sunday for Sunday call or whatnot, then just wait until then. Or if it's something that you can DM me real quick, then use the DM. But if it's like something super, super urgent, it's like 1 or 2 topics, okay, and you have an upcoming competition this weekend or the next one, then use that button. Or if I specifically tell you, hey, you know what, I want to talk to you about this for 10 minutes, then go in there and book your call then too. Right. Makes sense.
Makes sense. Cool. So this is the link for you. This one is going to be mine. I turned mine off for the time being, and I'll tell you why. So I had quite a few people who booked, and then either didn't have a problem, or they didn't show up, or the first question I asked, okay, how far are you in the program and stuff? And then it turns out like a lot of stuff they actually didn't do. So I don't think it's necessary to do 10-minute one-on-ones, because I want everybody, at least for the first like 2 or 3 weeks, to just do the thing, not more, just the thing that we're asking you to do, which is the goal setting, and then I'll give you the roadmap what it is, right? But what I will do is I will ask you in the Skool group about like your availability. When would be a good time to do like a 30-minute kind of Q&A open where we can just hang out and you can ask any kind of question, okay? And it will be like in a group format. We've done that in 2024 and beginning of 2025, and I think I want to bring it back, okay? So keep an eye out for that, and then I will open up the one-on-ones also like a little bit down the road, okay, in a couple of weeks. For those of you who have one-on-ones, so most people, you know, have used up all their like longer, the 30-minute one-on-ones with me and Yul, but those of you who still haven't, there's a few and you'll know who you are, please just send me a DM on Skool, okay, and I'll send you the link to my calendar and then you can book in, okay? And if you're unsure, just text me as well on Skool and we can let you know, yeah, because we got everything tracked. One more thing, so with like camps and everything, and I'm not sure what it looks like for you, but I can imagine it's the same. So many messages on WhatsApp. Like I wake up or whatever, and I got like 40 messages from people and stuff, and it's like too much for me, and I struggle. I just personally struggle with it because I want to get back to you as fast as I can, but then I have my daughter and whatever, so that's my personal struggle. So please, from now on, I'm on Skool every day. Message me on Skool. Okay, unless you have a freaking emergency. Okay, now otherwise, please message me on Skool so that way I can kind of, because I need to, because the second baby is coming, right? So parents will be able to relate. You kids probably not yet, but it's just I want to separate my private life from like my professional life. Does that make sense? And Yul, do you want to handle it the same for you?
Keep doing what you're doing. With me, it's fine.
Okay. Cool.
Because
Yeah,
I
like
mean, most of people who reach out to me on Skool anyways.
okay, cool. And we had a little bit of, I mean, yesterday, for example, Brody had a bit of an emergency, but then rocked it, and I didn't have time to do the call, and then Yul had time, right? So Yul, at the moment, he's a bit more flexible, I'd say, than me, because he doesn't have kids yet and stuff, so he's like the
Kids.
bachelor. All right. Okay, so I will just get back to you on Skool for sure, and then WhatsApp, you know, try to separate that a little bit, because otherwise I'm like overwhelmed. Sometimes I have like 80 messages and I do not like typing necessarily that much, and that's why I want to do more like video stuff where you can just come and ask the questions, okay, in the future. Cool. Did you want to say anything about Sweden, the camp, or are you good, Yul? Oh, you got to unmute. Yep.
Yeah. So I'll say something a little later about that. But basically, it's all gonna evolve around the goal setting, which we're gonna look at in a minute, right?
Yep. Cool.